Hey folks, it's Charlie here, and you're watching a Charlie in the Rain interview where I sit down with Aussie artists who are just like releasing the best music. And today I'm sitting down with someone who has just released a debut single. So a lot of you are probably being like, I don't know who this artist is. You're about to, and you're about to become obsessed. I've had this new song just like playing around. Even when I'm not listening to it, it is in my head non-stop. I am so obsessed. I'm joined here today by Jazzy Gold, your next favorite alt pop sort of artist that you're about to become obsessed with. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm amazing. How are you?
I am doing so well. As I said to you before, your debut single is just in my head non-stop. So I'm so excited to actually get to chat about it and not just feel like I'm going insane just listening to it on repeat.
Mission accomplished. I will be doing that again and again and again. So I'm glad that it's stuck in your head.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited to hear that. I love when there's just an artist that just worms their way into your subconscious, and it's just like they're just part of you now. That's your soundtrack to life.
Oh, thank you so much. It's actually like the best compliment. And I think with how I went about the song Dumb, like I was like, that is exactly what I wanted out of it. And I wanted it to be super relatable and just silly, but also like low-key stemming from like a much deeper meaning. So it's good that it's like stuck in your head because it's like, yeah, it's silly, but it's also like, oh, she's being vulnerable, and it's actually not like that much of a happy song when you really listen to it. So yeah, that's sick to hear.
Yes, but 100%. It's one of those really versatile tracks. You listen to it and you're just like, oh yeah, like, I'm getting into it. There is such a strong vibe here. And then you listen to it with your journal and your pen, and you're just like, I don't like this. I'm feeling things. I'm hearing things that resonate. Can you tell us a little bit about Dumb? What is this song about?
So Dumb is a track that I pretty much wrote it at a time. I was in Bali at a songwriting camp actually, just with like a few people from around the world, and it was like a late night rogue session that wasn't actually supposed to happen. And I was just sitting there and I was feeling quite shit because I wasn't really happy with anything that I had written, and I was just a bit of a shell of a person. Like I just had gone through like really bad situationship where it was just like the same things on repeat, and I was like just down. I was like, fuck this, fuck that. And I was just sitting there, and then some of my new friends, and they're actually like some of my closest friends now, which is crazy, were just like asking me questions about my life and like how I was feeling, and we were just like jotting down like just things about me. It was like a therapy session. And then I was just literally just like, fuck this shit. And I said, oh, I just don't like, I wasn't really happy with who I was. And I have worked really hard on myself in the way of building my confidence and my self-respect over the years. Like, talk about Jazzy like 3 years ago,
Mm.
completely different person, like so lost, didn't want to do music anymore, was dating a man that pretty much forced me to like get out of it and out of this world, and had to live in a small town. So the complete opposite of who I am, and I was very insecure. And I used that, and I masked that with, you know, having fun and being really open about my sexuality. And I always have, like I was always like, oh yeah, I love sex, I love having fun, like it doesn't mean anything to me, like pretty much. And I think that's always stemmed from a deeper meaning of always wanting to feel wanted, but I've just never ever actually genuinely felt like a deep connection and love that doesn't go further than someone wanting me for how I look or what I can give them. And I think I've always masked that in a way my whole entire life. And I think this song was the first song where I was like, you know what? I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with sleeping around all the time. And I'm not okay with like getting fucked up because it's normal. And I said, I'm not fine, which is why the whole song sort of pretty much stems from the line, I'm fine, but I'm not really fine, drinking too much wine. And it's just very much my personality in a song. Like I'm a very like take the piss sort of person, and I laugh as a coping mechanism. And yeah, Dumb was a song that for the first time, and I've been writing for a few years, that I was like, oh, this is me and this is what I want to do. And that's just sort of how my whole project came to life, was because I started writing from this other like this I started writing from a different perspective of just like me as a person, instead of me trying to fit the norms and try and be like other artists. And it was like the first time where I was like, I am so unapologetically myself that I actually couldn't try and be someone that I'm not. So why the fuck can I not just put that into my music? And I have no filter. Like what you see is what you get. And yeah. So Done was just pretty much like done as a bit of a diary entry, and we didn't finish it in Bali. We did like maybe like the original like main line of the chorus was really in there, like the well fuck, and then like the being a girl in this world, but we didn't know if it was actually going to do anything because it wasn't actually expected to get finished. Then I came home and I was just like reflecting on the trip and then just like looking at it, and I was like, I fuck with this. And I was like, I can do something fun. And like the little riff yet, like the dum 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 wasn't actually written yet. Like that wasn't even part of this there. So I did all that when I got home. And yeah, when I was working with Ben in the studio, we were just like, oh, I just need something a bit cool and catchy. And then I was like, dum dum dum, dum. And I was like, oh wait, that's the hook. And then just sort of came to life from there. Yeah. I just yapped and yapped and yapped.
Yeah. Oh, I love it so much because I find myself to be someone who really gravitates towards like, how do I say this? Not over commercialized pop, but like real hooky pop, like earworm type music, as most people should. And this track, it's just one of those, especially that hook. I'm like, it has not left me. It is lingering with me. But that I think really raises the fact that this can be seen as like two different songs if you look at it from two different sides of it. There's the side where it's like, oh, you've got the hook. It's like, it's kind of like darker, like alt pop leaning. It sounds so good. It's a bop. It's a certified bop.
Thank you.
But
Thank you so much.
But yeah, that you get to the point where it's like, oh, actually, this is a commentary on society. We're introspective here. We're looking at what's going on. You're looking at like the dating apps on your phone, and it's like, delete, move on.
Yeah. And I think, like with my music, like I've never really wanted to. I love commercialized pop, but it's just I'm always very heavy on like lyricism and like. Yeah, I need something that I can like relate to, or like even when I'm listening, like I'm like, I need to connect with this, and if it just sounds good for me, like it's like not, like that's not what I want to make. I just want to make something that can be, well, obviously just me. So I think the most important thing being an artist is obviously making music that you yourself are content and happy with making. But then again, like it's also, I really like saying the things that people are way too afraid to say. And I think, especially with this song, like girls go through so many of like the similar things where it's just like, it's just expected to be okay with anyone around like early 20s, like go through the same experiences no matter who you are. And it's just like, why is this so normalized, and why are we expected to be okay with this shitty feeling? Like, not in the fact that it is bad, like, I still engage in it, but it's more of the fact that knowing that it's bad, but knowing that you can't really feel a certain way, and when you feel something, then no, you're too much, or like it's too much of a commitment, or I can't do this anymore. It's like, bro, I'm still a person and I have fucking feelings. Like, yeah, what do you want me to do with that? Like, just shut up. Yeah.
I love speaking the truth, because it's one of those things. It's that sort of feeling. Everyone who's listening to it, hopefully, I'm going to make a really broad generalizing statement here, but everyone who's listening to it is able to tap into that and being like, yeah, like this world, like the current climate in which we're all expected to act like this and be like this and be okay with it. It does make you feel a bit dumb. It does make you sometimes feel like, oh, I am going insane. I don't want to fit the mold everyone's like made, or I don't want to live this story. And it's such an interesting commentary, and I feel like you've just done it in such a fun way, but also such like a thought-provoking way through this song. I love it.
Thank you so much.
But with this being, as I said, like it's a bop, certified bop, but also really introspective, really deep, really getting in there. I'd love to ask, what's your suggestion on the ideal dumb listening experience? Where are we? What are we doing? What's the vibe to best get as much out of this song as we can?
The ideal listening for dumb, low-key, like when you're journaling, like when you're literally just like in like your bedroom, or even like on a walk. You know, like I feel like just really being able to like take in the lyrics and be like, fuck, is this me as well? Like, am I doing
Hmm.
this? I think I feel like it can actually be a song that's like sort of just like it has like you could listen to it anywhere, and it would have the same effect. But somewhere where you're just sort of alone, um, and you can be like, oh, huh, did I just get clocked? Because I feel like, especially with like um, my like me as an artist, I sort of started with like live shows before I obviously had music out, and that was just because one, I was insecure and I didn't think they'd go well. And it was just like this thing of like getting over it. And two, I was always a performer. I started off as a drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so drums was always my thing. I always thought I was going to be a drummer. Like, started when I was like 7. And then I started guitaring piano when I was about 14. I didn't actually start singing till like I was about 15, 16, but never took it seriously. I'm 21 now.
Mm.
But yeah, so I was always just like hiding behind instruments because I always thought that I wasn't good enough to sing, because I'd always been sort of told that I wasn't good enough to sing. Um, but yeah, so I think this song is just sort of cool just to like listen to alone and just reflect. But also like when you're in a fun, giggly mood, but it's also like one of those ones where it's just like, oh, it's fun, you can laugh about it, but it's just like you're not really sure what's going on. But you know what I mean? I don't know if I answered that question. I feel like I went off a bit, but
No, yeah, I feel that. I turned 21 a month ago, like to the date, and I feel like maybe that's what's drawing me to the track. It's the like
yeah,
early 20s where it's like I am kind of lost with it. I'm kind of forming my own path through everyone else's path, sort of vibe. That's now making
yeah,
me feel okay. I can see why it's clicking.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yes, and we can't talk about Dumb without addressing the visuals and without addressing this music video. Hello, this is like iconic behavior here. I feel bad watching the music video so many times, but it's just one of those ones where it's like I love this. Like I have to keep coming back to it because it helps you like understand the lyrics in a way where if you weren't listening to them before, if you were just vibing with the song, you're now being like, okay, okay. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
these visuals, this video? How did this come about? What was the intention behind this?
So obviously when we made the song Dumb and then I had decided that it was going to be the first release of the EP, I was just like, yeah, I was like I can't afford to fund a music video. So I was just like, never thought about it. And then I got this lovely opportunity to work with these people, which, you know, we negotiated and they really wanted to help me bring the song to life. So we did. And the way the visuals of this song is literally, if you know me personally and you see this music video, it is me in a nutshell. Like when it came to like actually planning this music video, there wasn't much. Like it was literally like I messaged a few of my best mates being like, hey, can you come and be in this music video? I don't know what the fuck's about to go down, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And obviously we had like, yeah, the way that the visuals for this song sort of, you know, work is because it's literally like a walkthrough process of the song. So, you know, it's sort of like we're self-reflecting. Like the first line of the fucking whole song is in a sticky situation, ruining my reputation. So pretty much saying that like, you know, you've just come back from a one night stand or a bender or something. And now you're thinking about what you were doing and who you've become and you can't even recognize yourself. So that's why the video starts with just me talking to the camera. Didn't want to overcomplicate it, which is why it's so simple but yet so effective. And it was just like, yeah, self-reflection. And then when it's like the Dumb, people walk in not wanting them to be there, but it's just like it sort of goes to mimic like the validation and the attention that you're getting even though you're not feeling anything from it. And that was the whole point of like, you know, the party scene, just to completely showcase exactly how I was feeling and exactly what was pretty much going on behind your phone. So it's like, you know, you're talking to all these people, and it was sort of just like having them in the one room vibe, and it's just so empty. You don't really feel like you're getting anything from it, and you're like, fuck this, pretty much. Which is, yeah, it's just I don't know. I think the whole video turned out so perfectly for exactly how
Mm,
I wanted it and exactly how I envisioned it, even not even
mm,
knowing where it was really going to go. And I'm very, very, very proud of the way
mm,
that it just, is a really good showcase for me as an artist and what, just me as a person as well. And I think it's a very strong entry for me. And
mm.
I feel very content with what it is. I'm like, I feel like someone watches it, they see it, they're like, oh, okay, that's Jazzy. And then I think that's like a really cool thing that I'm very like, oh yeah, that's me. That's my first music video, and this is my first song.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
exactly what you said. It's a strong entry. We know who you are. We know the vibes. Like I I always think so much like, when an artist is at the point where they've got several albums out, they're a big deal. You go back to that first album, the first EP, the first like all those first, and it's like that's really who they are, who they wanted to put forward. This is such a good like start, not a starting point. It feels wrong to say a starting point because you've been doing music stuff for so long. You've been putting on these shows, but to be like, this is me, I'm putting it out to the world. You've done it in such an amazing way. I am
Yeah.
so obsessed.
Yeah. Well, I genuinely don't think saying like starting is like
Mm.
offensive or anything. I feel like it's actually it is the truth. Like,
Yeah.
I have been obviously preparing for this moment of releasing, which I got to a point where I was like, oh, I don't think I can do it, just because I was always like, I
Mm.
know that I can't do this if I don't have somewhat of a support network around me. And
Yeah.
because I came from such a small town where music was like, you can't do it, and like everything that I am right now, like who I am, was just not accepted there. So I was like, well, this is how it's going to be for the rest of my life. And then it was pretty much when I, you know, met new people and support,
Mm.
and everyone in my life right now is amazing. And it wasn't until then where I was like, fuck, I can actually do this and I can start it properly. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I don't think, yeah, this is the start of
Mm.
Jazzy seeing the whole world. I've obviously done lots of shows in Sydney over the
Mm.
past like 6 to 8 months. But still, this is the start of the project and the EP actually being there. So it's really fun. It's very scary, but it's also like I'm so content and happy with the music that I've made that like if it wasn't to do well and stuff, I'm like, bro, I'm just fucking here existing, and I know that I am
Mm.
so happy that I'm even just here. And the
Yeah.
fact that I can sell out um like shows and know that people turn up and love me for who I am, I'm like,
Mm.
that's it's so great to know that I have that support there. So with releasing, I'm like, nothing's holding me back now. I can just do
Oh.
it. Fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you've shown us that you can release an absolute banger, and you've said a few times, you mentioned there's more where this came from, saying that there's an EP coming up. Can we maybe hear a little bit about this? What's next for Jazzy Gold?
Okay, so this year is a massive year for Jazzy Gold. Yeah, so there will be an EP dropping this year. I've already name dropped it. It's called What the Fuck Is Wrong With Me? And it pretty much sort of in the same world as Dumb, but Dumb is a lot more, it's definitely more of like one of the boppy, like playful ones.
Mm.
It gets a lot deeper, more vulnerable, more confrontational.
Mm.
And it's just very much the way that I can describe it is, I think with when I was writing this EP, I never wanted it to be an EP. I was just writing songs. And then I found like this weird like similarities between all these things that were going on in my life, whether that would be like about like addiction, whether that be about
Mm.
like my family, broken family dynamics, whether that be about just like, you know, trauma or anything.
Mm.
Kept seeing this effect of me always blaming myself, even though I was like, this is actually not my fault. Like, and I
Mm.
think that's why the name "What the Fuck Is Wrong With Me" came and resonated with the EP and sort of, was the main thing, because I was like,
Mm.
why am I always blaming myself? And I've always done it up to this point. And I think this whole EP is a really cool way for me to just sort of close that chapter of my life and those
Yeah.
experiences, those personal experiences for me. And then obviously, starting this whole new life in Sydney and, doing what I've always wanted to do. I'm like, that motherfucker is not me anymore. Yes,
Mm.
I needed her to be there
Yeah.
so I could get to where I am, but I was like, those things do not define me as a person anymore, and there is nothing wrong with me. But I think, yeah, all of those songs, all the concepts of the songs, when you see them and hear them, it will make a lot of sense. And I think Dumb was a really, really cool way to introduce it in a way where it's like vulnerable, honest, but not too much, to showcase that one of my biggest strong points of an artist is honesty and vulnerability,
Mm.
and then two, that I can balance um, like very deep, sad concepts with fun and
Mm.
lightheartedness. And I think when you see me live and my like just my set live, it's a really up and down experience.
Mm.
Like at the last show we did for like the Dumb launch,
Mm.
yeah, it was like crazy. It was so crazy because it's like we have these fun songs and then it's like these really, really sad ones where people are crying, which is why,
Mm.
people always like one of my friends, a really good friend of mine, said your music is literally like crying ass. Sorry, is your music is literally crying while shaking your ass, and I was like, yeah, I mean that makes sense. Um, so I think,
Mm.
yeah, I'm really, really excited for the EP. I'm very, very proud of it, and it's literally, very personal
Mm.
experiences, my life in songs, and yeah, I'm very excited to have that one out in the world.
Yes. I love it. I'm such a sucker for like when someone literally is like, here is my diary, here's what I've written in it. And that's what you're tapping into with this like confessional lyricism and it's been like, this is me. You're getting the full unbridled story of what's going on. I am
Yeah.
so excited to dive into this EP and also just like what a name, what a standout. Like that's not just gonna slip through anyone's release radar. They're gonna be like, yeah, like what is going on here? Let me tap into that.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a genre blend as well, like
Yeah.
which I really liked because I love, because obviously I was a musician before I was a singer
Yeah.
as well. And I think while listening to this EP and knowing that, you can really tell with the production of how, I want that to come through. And
Mm.
one of the things for me is like when I'm playing live, pretty much from now on, like I really want to showcase that side of me. So I
Mm.
have gotten the drums and stuff but before, but I want to get in them a bit more.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, just sing, play drums, and do a bit of guitar solo, and just really bring that side of myself out because
Mm.
that's what I started with, and I love it. And I don't want people to forget about that because I'm like, but I'm still a musician, I promise. um, but yeah, I think
Mm.
it's really cool just to have, obviously. It's not a bad thing that I started singing a bit late, but it's really helps me in the way of like knowing what I want when it comes
Mm.
production and with writing and knowing all that, and being able to play around with that all myself. I love that I have, the skills to be able to do that, and I'm very blessed that I can do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like there is nothing better than someone who does all their own stunts. Like there is nothing better than someone who can be like, I know everything that's going on here. I love that. I did music all through high school and I was always the person being like, can someone set this up for me? I don't know how to do this. I don't know how that works. So I admire the
Mm.
people who have all of that talent, have all of that knowledge and well.
Yeah, all I need to like learn now is I need to learn prod. I can play everything, but I'm like, computer's scary. But I'm like, give it in my hands, I got it.
Real, but also all of the like
Yeah.
the most like badass producers I know are the women popping up in Australia. We have so many like insane female producers just popping up everywhere. And I'm just like, you know what? Hats off to you. You are doing amazing stuff.
Hell yeah, so sick.
I have two little speed fire questions I'd love to ask you super quickly. First off, with the release of Dumb,
Mhm.
with a few live shows you're playing, with this EP on the horizon, I'd love to ask, how can we best support you and best let you know that we're loving what you're doing?
Ooh, that's a nice question. I think for me, like showing up to the shows
Mhm.
is like probably my favorite. And if you're not where I'm playing my shows, yeah, just sharing the love, just like
Mm.
listening, you know, just just sharing my name, and just always feel free to send me a message saying that you're loving it. Like, I feel like, you know, I read all my comments, and I always will, and just following me along, following me on stuff, and just pretty much as you can do, really, just fucking jam along with the music, um, and follow the journey, because there's a lot more to come. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. But now that we've gotten to know you a little bit, I want to ask like a bit bigger of a question. I want to know who you've been listening to. I told you I've got Dumb in my head nonstop. I want to know which like artists and which songs from your local music scene and from across the broader country of Australia have you had on repeat lately and you would love to give it a shout out to today?
Oh, I have been absolutely obsessed for a while, actually. Lola Young. She is like my girl. I love her. And she's like one of the artists that, like, it's like so weird wherever I like see what she's doing and shit, like it's just so me. That's what scares me. Like, I saw her the other day, like in a photo with like a fucking SpongeBob in the back thing. And knowing me personally, like, people associate me with like SpongeBob and all that. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what do you mean? I just feel like I have like this weird like crossover with her, even though she doesn't know who the fuck I am. But yeah, I love her.
Yes.
I think yeah, I think if I ever played a show with her, I'd be like, bruh, I can die happy. um yeah, and like Billie Eilish, I also really, really love. I think they're sick. And also Wet Leg, those guys. I've been really on my Wet Leg train. They're just baddies. Like, it's just so badass. When it comes to local scenes, I've been really eating up KCH. He has been amazing. He's one of my very, very dear friends. He's amazing. He's been killing it. Kyle is, yeah, we have also worked together a little bit, and we have some songs that are in the works, so that's been really cool. Yeah, and then some other artists are like Charlie Lucas. She's fucking amazing. She's overseas right now touring. She's been doing great. Insane. Some others, Lily B. She's amazing. Hatchling, I don't know if you've heard of her. We just did a show together, and she is completely in her own little world of, yeah, like this like really cool like Americana rock, but it's just like this whole experience. It's really, really cool. She's very much in her own lane. And then yeah, the Astro Van Boys also played the show. They're definitely ones to watch out for. They're very like indie rock, pop. One of like few of my best mates. I think the Sydney music scene is popping the fuck off, and it is amazing. And there's so many people just doing so many different things. Like, if I had to sit here and give you a whole list, like, I would, but I'm like, bro, there's too much going on that I'm like, I don't know what to say. Yeah, but I'm so proud of everybody for like finally like, yeah, everyone. I just feel like no one's scared anymore. Like, they're just going for it, and there's so much support in the local scene as well, where it's just so crazy to watch. And I think I have released at such a good time, because I remember like a few years ago when I was thinking about it, like there wasn't much going on, and it was like very much on the downfall. So I was like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't do this with my life. And obviously, as like an 18-year-old, you're like, shit, this is the most important time for me to figure out what I'm going to do. So yeah, sort of like a bit of a blessing in the curse that I have waited a bit longer. But it's only made me more sure of who I am, and sure of my sound, and sure of like who I want to be as an artist. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm loving what I'm seeing from what you're doing so far, and I can't wait for this EP. I cannot wait for more. Thank you so much for like sharing it all with us.
Of course, anytime. This has been so fun. I'd like to yap.